Would you all join me in prayer, please? Dear Heavenly Father, we're so grateful for the many blessings that you brought before us. We thank you for the opportunity to serve. We thank you for the many opportunities you've given us throughout our lives. We ask that you be with us this evening as we decide direction for Perryton Independent School District. We ask that all of our decisions be in your will for us and for the district. In thy heavenly name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Do we have anyone for open forum? We do not. We're going to move one item up on the agenda here. Ms. Cassie, if you want to go down, we'll get
all right.
before we
come
break.
Up here so I can run my PowerPoint. Thank you guys. I won't take very much of y'all's time, but I was asked to come and kind of give an update on an exciting project that we're doing at Frank Phillips College, but it includes Perryton ISD, and it's a big project, but I'm just going to talk to you guys about a portion of that project tonight. So about, I don't know, a little over a year ago, I was asked to kind of start looking at buildings to expand workforce in the Perryton area, and we stumbled across, most of you have probably heard this, the Midwest Pipe Inspection Building. And so the Community Development Corporation has helped us get access to that building and to expand workforce. So part of that is a welding renovation. So for those of you that know that facility, this is what it looks like. We are talking about the building that's detached on that facility, and that to house welding for both the college and the ISD welding. So we're talking about all of Perryton ISD welding happening in that facility. So we're also doing several other programs there, but the majority of the renovations are going to need to be done to that building. That building is not within the city limits right now, so that's a part of the issue, and it's basically just a shell of a building that has a little bit of electrical in it. It doesn't have near what's needed to house a welding school. So kind of moving on from that, I can't read my own stuff here. The annexation of the facility is currently underway by the city of Perryton, and so they're working on that. But other things that the facility needs are building ventilation, so exhaust fans, the ventilation system, and a clean air system in that facility. An electrical upgrade that will include additional inside lighting, booth lighting, updated lighting on the inside, and just the electrical to support a welding school. We probably would never have found a building in Perryton that had adequate electrical for the number of booths that we are looking to put in that facility. And then plumbing, it didn't have any plumbing into the facility, so just to put in sewer and water into that facility, and then updated heating. In the facility right now, it has one of those old oil-burning shop heaters, and so we looked at putting natural gas and some tube heaters into that facility as a part of the renovation. We contacted Huseman Builders to do the renovations on the facility, and actually the Community Development Corporation went into contract with them for those renovations. They're in the engineering phase of that, so they're doing the design. They actually just got finished doing a welding school. So that is one of the reasons that we looked to them to do this renovation, is because they just got finished with a project similar to this. They gave us initial estimate. They said they usually don't do that at around $300,000 for all of their requested renovations to that facility. So we, through a grant with the college, the Community Development Corporation matched $100,000 of those renovations. The college is committed to spending $75,000 towards those renovations, and then the ISD and FPC have already spent $20,000 for the engineering fees for Huseman Builders. We also have already spent together some materials to build the booths for the welding facility. We had a great summer internship program, and I'll show you guys some pictures of that here in a minute, where we were able to save a whole lot of money by just purchasing the materials and those students building the booths for this facility. So we've already spent a little bit of money on that. The plan is for PISD to use the facility throughout the day and FPC to use it in the evening for welding. So that's how we will split the use. Both of us have written into grants to secure equipment for that welding facility, so we've shared in those costs as well. And then we'll both have consumables for both programs and storage that are separate for that. FPC will maintain and operate that facility as we will for the whole facility. The offerings that we will have there, the college is planning to offer the full-blown certificate in welding, just as we do at our other facilities that have welding. So you could do marketable skills or the full-blown welding certificate. And then the high school is going to offer the AWS certifications, which is what the welding teachers got certified in. So before all of this happened, we went and toured a facility in Canyon to kind of figure out, we heard they had a new facility, what we wanted to put in that facility. And so these are just some pictures of that facility and the way that we wanted our facility set up and some of the ventilation parts that we had heard good things about. And so this is their facility. This is not our facility, but this is kind of what we want ours to look like. And it shows the air return and then the emergency eye wash. And then this is the interior outside of the booths that have the open air welding portion of it. So just a lot of electrical to run the open welding. This is the facility over at 1206 Southwest 9th. This is the high school internship summer program, building the booths at PISD at the high school, and then moving the welding booths in, and so you can kind of see the progression of them putting them together on site. And then this is what it looks like now. They're not completely done because there's electrical that has to go in behind them and all sorts of stuff, but then this is the group that worked the majority of the summer on it. So we were very thankful for them to be doing that. But that's what the facility looks like now. So it's still a shell of a building, but I'm here because we are short money for the renovations. So we are looking to the future. They're about to start. A couple of months is their projected start date on the renovations, and so it's a great project. There's a ton of kids in the PHS welding program, and this is a big facility. Just that building itself, I think, is over 6,000 square feet. So that's all that will be housed in that detached facility. You guys have any questions?
So how much do you need?
Boy, that's the $1 million question.
Yeah, not $1 million.
It is not $1 million,
Yeah,
but
bad start. Go ahead.
we're 125,000 short right now, and that's an estimated amount. We haven't got the engineering back yet, but I know that we're at least going to be that much short.
Cassie, how many booths will that actually house? Total?
24 booths.
Okay.
So the booths line the exterior of the facility, and then the whole interior will be for open projects.
Open.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There is you can kind of see, there's a gated section. It's to the east of that, the very east part of that facility, and we left all of that gating in. You can kind of see the old oil burning heater over there in the corner. But that's where all of the consumable storage will be. And we're going to separate it between college and high school just to help keep all of that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cassie, how much do you think the students welding and building those booths themselves saved approximately?
We got a quote for the welding booths, and it was $38,000, and we were able to do it for $10,000. The college turned around and donated to the welding program for their time in doing that also, just because that's a huge savings for us. So.
And there was a grant to pay the students? Do you remember how that worked?
I don't, but they did get paid over the
for
summer.
They did. So they were the advanced students in the welding program through Perryton High School, and the grant paid them, I believe it was $1,000 in the summer each.
The ones that are in the maroon shirts, I think, are the advanced students, and the ones that are not are the entry-level welding students in the picture. But Zane and Colby are also in this picture. They've been a huge help to us in designing this facility and what needs to go into it and what are the best thoughts on ventilation and all of that. So they've been extra helpful to us. We're very appreciative of them.
They went to Canyon with us to
They did.
actually look.
Yes.
of what we were looking at.
Any other questions?
Was there anything you guys saw in Canyon that you would not do here? I mean, it was a perfect setup. I mean, is
The
there-
Canyon was a very huge room. It's a lot bigger than what we had. It was just almost a shop just dedicated to that.
and it's being used today,
Oh, yeah.
and so they're full.
Yeah. They're always full. And I can tell you right now, we've always had kids waiting and couldn't get into welding classes because the room did not allow for more than 18 kids in there at a time. Really, that was too many. So this space is going to allow us, hopefully, not to reject any kids that want to learn how to weld.
Some of the things we learned from them, their booths were in a separate room than their open welding. So their teacher couldn't always see the students that were in the booths welding when the students were working on projects. And so that was our idea, to put all of the booths on the exterior of the room so you could always see. And then they gave us some ideas about ventilation. Never run your ventilation out the north. And they had. Whoever built their facility ran their ventilation out the north of their building. And so they were constantly, getting wind back
Blowing
in.
back in.
Yes.
Blowing back in.
Yes. And so, we took away a lot of things from that project.
Yeah.
But then it's also helpful to have somebody who just built one, who learned a lot of lessons themselves in building one.
Well, I've seen the wind blow pretty hard out every direction here, so
Yep.
just go out east and hope for the best.
Yeah, you're right.
And there are big doors. You can't see the doors. There are big garage doors to get projects in and out.
So facing the south, there are 5 garage doors out of that facility, and we plan to leave all of those in.
Talked about a grant that was available to pay these students for their work this summer. Are there other grants that we've been researching that might make up some of this 125?
Not for the 125. There is a grant. I can't mention the grant right now
Okay.
because it's not, you can see it, but we can't mention what it is. But it's going to pay for a lot of
But there's
equipment.
other grants that
Yeah, there
just
are grants
available. They're in the
available,
works right now.
Yeah, matter of fact, Dr. Skaggs was the one who had written the grant for us. And if you look at it, it's a considerable amount of money and we had to match it, which is still a good deal. But, yeah, we just can't mention the name of the grant right now.
We're in the same situation as they are.
Okay.
But we are after grants.
Well, I think it's great that the CDC and the college and the Perryton PISD is working together on a project like this. It's gonna help a lot of kids and a lot of employers in the area
Right.
to have this deal right here.
Oh, yeah. I think of our corner of Texas, we'll definitely probably have the best welding facility. You gotta get to Amarillo and Canyon probably to outdo us.
It'll be nice.
We wouldn't be able to do everything that we are doing with this facility without the partnerships that we have locally. So we are very appreciative of the relationships that we have built in the community. So I completely agree.
Have you talked to any of the welders around here, see if they donate or willing to help out too or anything?
I haven't yet. That's a great question to bring up. We are not in the place to move anything into that facility yet,
of
but when we get to that, absolutely. I mean, we've,
I think it'll be better to go to them with a firm number too. Here's how much
Yeah.
we
We
need.
need.
yes.
Yeah,
And so
until we
really
get-
even
We're shooting at a
today-
moving target right now.
Right. That's a great point. We don't really need any kind of commitment, just the thought that in the future, when those do come around, we would like some help with the renovation costs because we're not there yet.
Yes. Okay.
And Cassie was telling me she's been on a year and a half. How long have you been on?
Just
A year?
about a year.
A year. Well, a year before that, Noon had come to me and said, hey, there's something that's working with the city now, you need to talk to them. So we went and visited. So this has been in the planning for about 2 years
It
now,
has.
of us working with them, trying to figure out what is needed, what's not needed. And it's been a lot of meetings.
Yeah.
A lot of meetings to make this happen.
All right. Any other questions? Okay, well, thank you guys for your
Thank you
time.
very much.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Get that AC meeting.
Yeah.
Before we go into closed session, I was going to read one communication with the board. Actually, it was to Mr. Morellis, but to all of us as well. On behalf of the West Texas A&M University, Congratulations on earning an A rating from the state of Texas, highlighted in the Perry Herald. Dedication you display aligns with the core values of the university's planning efforts. WT 125 from the Panhandle to the world, and pioneering spirit in pursuit of WT 125 by committing to your work, school, and most importantly, the students. WT appreciates the partnership we have with your school. On Buffalo's Walter V. Wendler, President. More congratulations to PISD for doing such a good job. And we'll just keep it rolling. Now, the board will now convene in a closed meeting to discuss the following items posted on our agenda this evening. It's allowed by Texas Government Code. Personnel Matters, Government Code Section 551.074. Security Devices, Government Code Section 551.076. Student Discipline, Government Code Section 551.082. And Student Information, Government Code Section 551.0821. The time is now 6:16. No voting will take place in the closed meeting. Any action the board wishes to take as a result of discussion in a closed session will take place after the board reconvenes in the open meeting. Are we ready, Jeff? Okay. There we go. Now we're back to order at 7:40. Start off with reports with the superintendent's report. Mr. Morales.
Of course, we had the welding report. I think that's a great thing for the school district and the community. Cassie did a great job with that. Again, if you'll look right on your first page there, that is the grant and what the kids are trying or wanting to buy with that grant, if we get that grant that we can't name. And then we do have, the thing I really want to bring to your attention is the matching part of that. At the very end of it, you'll see what our match is on that.
It's a good investment.
Good investment, good trade. So I am happy with that part of that program. Start of school, guys, looking at the enrollment numbers, and you can see which schools the enrollment's growing in, which schools we've dropped a little bit. Brittany, on those two numbers, the membership total beginning of the year in 22 and 23 compared to 21, 22, looks like our numbers are up.
Yes, sir.
So we'll get more money.
Yes.
Okay, so
State
that's a good thing.
money.
That's a good thing. Even though some of the other numbers in some schools, it looks to me like we're not doing well in kinder, pre-K. Our numbers went down, but where's it right? I believe it was. Our numbers went up considerably. So
And is the attendance quite a bit up from the beginning of the last school
the
year?
attendance compared to last year
Yes.
is up.
So that's where,
It's the actual attendance, not just the
not just our enrollment.
membership.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, our attendance is up, and we had a meeting today, administrative meeting, and we're working hard, and I think we're making a point to everybody to get to school, be at school. So that's a good thing there. The other thing, resignation. I need to say something about celebrations. By the way, board, thank you all for your gifts to the staff at the different buildings. They really appreciate that. They appreciate you noticing that they're doing well. And then the central office is also doing recognitions for them also. So every building is being recognized at different times in different ways. So I think
My
we do.
signature looked a little strange on my card.
I do not have a career in poetry, do I?
Quit leaving
Yeah,
town
it
so
was
much.
psychological analysis I did after
You
that
were-
class, that's a little scary here.
At noons.
You were here.
Then the next thing on there is resignations. Darren Clark, Director of Safety and Communications, has submitted his resignation. I'm willing to accept it effective October 7th of 2022. Football field, lights, and turf. We had somebody give us an estimate, our lights. We got an estimate a few years ago from E3 on replacing the lights at the football field. The two big lights that go up the highest are the ones that are the oldest, and they can't find replacements for those bulbs when they go out. That's how old they are. There's a certain cost for it, but to be able to do all the lights with LED, this one estimate here is telling us it's gonna be $113,736. That's a lot different than what E3. E3, when they first gave us an estimate, it was almost 300,000. Different lights, probably different things. You know, I just want to know, you know, are we willing to look into this? And if we are, then we go out for bids.
How do we tell if we need the new poles and bases?
Okay.
Who's the judge of that?
If they're bent over.
Well, we have one that's leaning pretty good.
Alan,
Yes,
there you go. Tell them how you figure that out.
basically, we'd have to have a company come in and check.
Engineering.
Yeah, they'll do basically crack analysis and all that stuff.
All it takes is money, right?
You got it.
But I think before you put lights up, you need to make
You
sure
have to
whether
do
your
it.
poles
Yeah.
are good or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did the 3M bid include poles?
No.
That local bid does not.
No, this one, but the one before did not, for sure.
I looked at it, I don't think it did.
Can we get an idea on what a company would charge to come out and look at those?
Any idea, Alan?
I don't have an idea, we can find out.
Because I do think that's the start. That's where you start
I
that.
did notice on these bids that the demand cost is for summer, for 1 month, which is when they use the least, I assume.
Mhm.
So actually, the lights get used the least in the summer, you know, sun's up. So imagine the ongoing saving monthly.
Well, I think
on the
these are if they're
electrical
run
charges.
on an average, yeah,
Yeah, but I mean,
basis.
if they're run on an average basis, we're just saving half, so they actually would pay themselves off.
Yeah, my guess in about 5 years, they'd probably pay for themselves. Because LED is a lot cheaper to run.
But yeah, the number just seemed misleading at the bottom of the page, 15, the
Yeah.
demand cost for the summer.
Right.
Well, that's when we use them the very least, so in the winter, when we run a lot more, we'll save more money.
Yeah. Well, that's, like I say, that's a discussion of, you know, where do we want to go next with that. The other thing at the football field that's been brought to our attention is I guess it's in the end zones, the turf is starting to fade and ripple and pull away, so we've had Brittany and Coach Happ call the company, try to get hold of the company, and it's probably still warranty, because it's only been 4 years, I think.
4 years, they need to get up here.
Get up here and look at it and see if they can repair it, or do whatever they have to do to fix it.
They're not very easy to work with.
They're not
No.
answering you?
No, they call me back, oh yeah, we'll get somebody to call you right here in just a little bit.
Where are they at 'em?
This guy was out of New York. It's AstroTurf, but they're out of New York. So
Brilliant.
I contacted them several times. I finally put you all in the email today.
Yeah, I saw that today. All right,
We still
well,
have 4 years left on that warranty. Okay. And it's just the red is shedding real bad. And when I talked to another salesman, a Hellas salesman, they use a different turf. He said, yeah, it's a cheaper product, so that's what
you
everybody's
get.
getting.
Anyway, I just want y'all to be aware of both those issues as they're coming up. Administrative procedures to collect outstanding student fines. Right now, we don't have any policy saying, you know, what do we do when people, let's say they don't pay their meal money or they don't pay library fines or whatever. What I want to do is come up with a system to where it's a administrative regulation saying, okay, when it gets to this point, then we send a letter home, then we make a phone call, and we do all these things until we get that money. And then we also put a limit of, okay, when it gets to this amount, that's when all that stuff happens, so that we're trying to collect the money. She did, nutrition, Shelley gave me a list here, just so that you can have a little bit of an idea. IOU debt for each campus and cafeteria. The kinder now is at 365, Wright 685, Williams 371, junior high 1,371, high school 505, and Moody Martin 47, totaling outstanding debt of 3,346. Gives you a little bit of idea how much money's out there that needs to be collected. So, are you all good with that? Making administrative regulations of some sort. And I think we're ready for trustee training. Were you gonna do that in West?
I don't want to do it, but I did have a couple comments on training. we've got a lot of training opportunities as board members and a lot of training responsibilities as board members. And I just would encourage everyone, it's TASB and TEA make it fairly easy, just a commitment of some time to be able to pull some of this stuff online. The safety one, it's not tremendously exciting, but when it says 2 hours, it's 2 hours worth of reading. I've sent doing a lot of them are videos to be able to watch, but my feeling is that we've been placed in a position of responsibility here, and it's certainly in the district and community's best interest that we complete the training that's required of us, if not some extra. If you go to the list, there's some things that might pique your interest that say, I'd like to learn some more about that, to be able to pick it up. But number one that I would probably encourage everyone to pull up is the safety training. There's a lot of new things on that, some requirements that we're going to have over the upcoming timeframes, that just to have some understanding of why do we have to do that? Well, because that's part of the new safety program that's out. It'll take a couple hours to be able to read through it, and then take a look at the list within the board material here. It has everyone's list of what they have, what they're short, and try to get things caught up.
You know, to me, the biggest ones, guys, that I think we need to hit are the cybersecurity. It's an hour training. I think Liliana, you sent a web link out to all of them to where they can go online somewhere and do those. Okay, and then sexual abuse, human trafficking, that's an hour one. And then the school safety, like Wes said, I think those are pretty big ones. The other training that we need to be doing, and is she out there? Yeah, Ashley's out there. Ashley's working on her superintendent certificate, and one of the things that I said I'll help you get involved and learn is to set up a team of 8 training for us, and I think y'all have done that before. It's a 3-hour training. If she sets it up, helps us, organizes it, she can get credit for that, and we can get credit for it.
Which would be great for me.
Come with pies?
No pies for a while. No pies. Here's good for your skin. Pardon? Here's good for your skin. It is. Exfoliating. Looks good. Thank you.
Anyway, like I say, if you all want me to, I'll do this. We'll do this. If you'd rather come up here and we all watch them up here and test them together and get some of the stuff done, we'll set up a time to do that. If you'd rather do that. If you'd rather just be at home and get online and do it, that's fine too. But give me an idea what you want. We do have a training coming up in Amarillo. When is that?
October 6th.
Yeah, on the 6th.
Is anybody wanting to go to Amarillo? It's Canyon again, Amarillo. You get 3 hours.
I'll go 6:30 to 8:30.
6:30 to 8:30.
Yeah, put me on that as well.
Good day. Sorry.
What day is that?
Thursday, next Thursday.
Thursday the 6th.
You have nothing going on, you can go.
Harvest. And Virginia.
Harvest is going on. All right. Anyway, I need to make this as easy as I can on y'all so that we do get some of these easier hours out of the way.
Part of this is available on Zoom as well, correct?
Yeah, a lot of this is.
So if someone didn't have the time commitment to be able to do the 2.5-hour drive each way, there is a Zoom link for this as well. If someone wants to just log in, grab their 3 hours to be able to just watch the presentation.
Right. And then after we do the team building, there's another 3 hours. So you're getting your hours pretty quick. All right, campus reports, I think is where you're at.
Campus reports. Full name, Ludi Pena Martin Accelerated Education Center. There she is.
Everything's good at Ludi. Nothing to add today.
Lots of credits, just cha-ching, cha-ching.
Cha-ching, you got it. I got more today, so there's been more since the board report. And we do have 19 students now.
You're at
So I
19?
think I said 18 in the report. I got another one yesterday.
Cool. Thank you. High school. There you are.
Everything's going well. So,
Moving forward.
trucking along.
Any questions? Move on to the junior high, Ms. Sweeter. There she is.
Everything is good.
We started the beginning of the year assessments this week to get our kids used to the online testing platform. So we were, I don't know if you want to call us the guinea pigs, but we were the first to jump off the cliff to see how it would work with the online testing and give the kids the opportunity to see the platform and utilize the tools within it, just so they can get used to it and be ready for benchmarks later on this fall. And our attendance, I heard Mr. Morales talking about attendance being up. We're at 97.8, so we are doing great. We're very excited about that. So that's it.
We've had lots of questions and concerns about the total online. How did it go?
It's going well so far. Our results won't be, I just want to say it's a release star test, so it's over material the kids have not seen all of yet.
The question was really more of the process. Technology worked fine. Kids got along well with it.
Kids have gotten along well with it. They've been utilizing the tools in it, the highlighters and the things that they can use, just getting used to it and learning how to do it. But as far as our bandwidth and all of those things, it was all good.
Good.
It was all good. The setup process, I want to thank Mr. Hill for giving his wife's time to us because she spent a lot of extra time, both of our testing coordinators, Ms. Jenkins, getting it set up first because we have a new system. It's not Pearson anymore, it's Cambion. And so they're getting used to that whole new process of setting up the tests, but they're pros, so it's gone very smoothly. So.
And Wes, I'm glad you asked about the bandwidth because Rodney will probably tell us, but I think Region 16, we were going to contract them to come in here and look at our systems to make sure.
Do a hard test.
And I think by Friday, they're going to come in here. Good. So hopefully.
And we did update Chromebooks last week. All the students updated their Chromebooks, which was something that, they're set to automatically update, but just like all the rest of us, you click ignore and go on with what you're doing. So we made sure we stopped and did that, and so that helped us as well.
Good.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Williams.
Where is he?
It's all good at Williams.
Attendance.
97%, 97.1. And we had one new student today, so our enrollment's 267.
Good deal. That's good.
Let's go to Wright.
Everything's going well at Wright. We had a new student today also. Our attendance is better than last year, so things are just in full swing over there. We're having a great time at school. Questions? No?
Okay. Thank you. How about Kinder?
Attendance is not 96, but it's better. We're 95.3.
95.3.
Yes, I think after Mr. Diaz's reports from this morning, that's about 2% better than we were this time last year. So we're doing things.
And those little ones go to school for the first time and get sick.
We get lots of things.
Junior high is doing so well because we taught him how to go to school at Williams. You're welcome. It's a gift that keeps on giving.
That's went through my head with the list. That's everybody.
Yeah.
Director's report. Maintenance, Mr. Kemp.
I don't have anything to add.
Questions? Follow-ups? Thank you, sir. We're going to talk about meals. Anything to add to your report, Ms. Walker?
Nothing to add, really.
Any questions? I did have one. If we have, within the policy that we're still developing here, I've always got some question. And we were to get to a point where we've sent letters, we put parents and said, hey, you owe this. What's our option for the youngin'? Then if we say we cannot charge to your account anymore, do we have a specific sandwich and drink combo?
They've taken that all away.
Oh, they have. Okay.
And basically that's due to negative media response, and they've taken that away. And
Negative media response meaning, well, this kid only got a bologna sandwich. Well, there's a reason for that, but it was
Yeah.
still nutritious.
yeah, but I'll give you my honest opinion. I've seen it done. I've delivered sack lunches in my 25 years to a classroom and said, this is your lunch, and
Right.
treated it like it was all good. Some parents don't care.
Right.
I'm just gonna put it out there, and I feel like that student needs a nutritious meal.
Yes.
you don't gain enough to do an alternate meal. And then you're having your cooks do an alternate meal. Then you have to offer that alternate meal to everybody because you can't isolate them. So it's a lot
Think
of,
about that.
yeah, it's a lot of different areas that add up to being.
It is
more.
2022, isn't it?
Yes, yes. So we did do some checking into what you further do to process this if they're at a deal. And 240 is a nonprofit account, so we can't carry the debt. So 199 would buy the debt, and then they can process with a collection agency or whatever, you know, want, and that would have to be something that we would just set a certain amount and say, when you get to this amount, that's what's going to happen. And we call every week, we send letters every week, we write on them every week. And it's I knew it was going to be a battle, but
Coming back from 2 years
really,
of free meals.
It's really been a battle, and that's why I wanted to get something on there to go by so that we can send it out, first of all, and let them know this is the policy and, you know, everything, because if I just call them and if I just do it, they're not going to really respond.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Communications and safety, Mr. Clark.
Just want to add that the emergency operations plan will be submitted to Region 16 tomorrow or the next day for them to put their look on it, and then we'll be ready, hopefully, with tweaks from them to be sent to the TEA as required. So. And any other questions on any of the rest of it?
Darren, can you say anything about the tours with the law enforcement?
We did tours of every campus with law enforcement. They had a lot of questions. They had a lot of suggestions, a lot of things that we need to add to our overall plan. That's, again, it's only money. Some of the things that we have to do, and they're not that expensive, but we've got to get a budget and how we're going to pay for some of the required and suggested safety things that we need to get done in the next little short period. Get a timetable of things that we've discovered from these audits, these internal audits that have been pushed upon us, and we've discovered a lot of weaknesses and vulnerabilities that we need to address. And so, but again, you got to have a plan, a priority, and a budget for all of it before you can make it happen.
How quick can we get that together, Darren?
Some of it has already been presented to the safety committee. We need to add to it with some of the things that came from the suggestions from law enforcement. Probably within the next, hopefully in the next week or so, we can get that done. Close.
Anything else? Technology report, Mr. Throgmorton.
Right.
There he is.
Phones aren't working today, but I confirmed that in the troubleshooting this, you submit a request, and in about 4 days you find out how that went, and then you can resubmit. So, but I confirmed yesterday that there's 0 errors in the thing. I misspelled Eaton, which did cause a problem, and they just copied whatever I put in my submission. And somehow my name was misspelled, and I was like, well, that's weird, because he just copies and pastes, but my full name was too long for the box. So I had to shorten my name on our PTCI phone account to Rod, and then that was 15 characters.
Gotta love a computer world.
And it isn't like there's our SIP provider I sent the supervisor a request, they sent it to like a national clearinghouse of numbers, who then sends something to PDCI, who accepts or rejects, and then kind of goes back that same way. It's a very slow process, but I did get confirmation yesterday that everything's right on this one. And I offered Sandy $50, gave her $50, and I said, if the black phones don't ring by end of business Friday, you keep this and get your people with old phones get them something nice.
Coffee cans and
Coffee.
strings,
Coffee.
things like that.
And also with Sandy, started testing yesterday at the junior high, and it's the exact same. It's the same app. It's the same everything as that she's using for benchmark that we use for the real test, and that all went great.
Everything worked fine. Region 16 is doing their
Yep.
testing.
Should be here Friday. He did say, he said, we're not gonna find anything that would hinder testing. Like, online testing takes, I would say conservatively a third of the bandwidth that like regular, just from a regular school day. And so, it might be a fourth, but it's easy to say a third. And I talked to him about things. Oh yeah, because it's just a test question with some words, maybe a picture of a math drawing or something, and then where you put your answer. But you don't scroll and like, there's not pictures and backgrounds. And
all the things going to eat up bandwidth from a
things
normal
that, like
instructional
high
day.
candy of a website. So, like, he felt like, he goes, oh yeah, it's like
good,
much less. So I feel better. But he said we'll confirm this.
Yep, have them hit it hard, because it's been a concern that we've had just to make sure, no lack of faith in the system. It's just, gosh, if everything's going to go to there, we've got to make sure that our ducks are in a row well ahead of schedule.
Well, according to the head of IT at the service center, like, if we are fine in a normal school day, we're like extra fine.
Right. Good.
I was stunned when I looked at the traffic coming from junior high here. No, it would be like, it's a little bit more, but not that much more than like just normal after school, after Ranger camp stuff. And I wasn't expecting that big of a difference, but it's huge.
Okay. Well, cool. Thank you very much. Curriculum and instruction report, Dr. Rock.
But the only other update that I have for you is that we do have 100% of our administrators that have completed the documentation training as of today. And then I think we didn't have the Ranger Roundup report, so if we can get.
Oh, we did.
Oh, I missed it.
Wasn't in there.
I don't think it was.
On my original report, we had 56 children enrolled, but I need to update that to 57 for this week and 2 more starting on Monday. I have a current wait list of 5 children on my infants, so we are looking at what it'll look like to open up a new classroom. And then we also got word from PwC that our increase for the daytime maximum reimbursement rates will be effective October 1st. I will share what the new update is once we have an official 2430 on file. So what that is the Workforce Solutions Panhandle, the subsidy program that we are participants of, will now give us a higher reimbursement rate. And then because we're a Texas School Ready participant, our reimbursement rates, particularly for Ranger Roundup, are higher than regular child care license centers. And then we also received information about having to be required to participate in Texas Rising Star, which is an accreditation program that we will be required to participate in starting in October as well. So I'll share updates on the progress of our participation in that program moving forward.
Thank you very much. Ready for the CFO report, Ms. Morales?
Disbursements, you'll see there's still a few checks from prior year. Those will affect our fund balance. Current year checks I welcome any questions on that. Then we can skip over those to page 116. That's kind of where our cash balances ended and our investments. Nice, healthy. And then page 131 says 490, but it is basically what our net change in fund balance will be. But if you skip over that to page 147, that's a more accurate depiction. And it changes daily right now just because we have a ton of end of year entries that we're still inputting. Getting ready for next week, we'll send the auditors a file that they need, and then they'll set up everything for our audit at that point. We've gotten them basically all the documents they asked for up until this point, and then we just gotta wrap up a few things till they come in about 2 weeks. And then Mr. Mouse pretty much hit all the high points of attendance on the next page. Any questions?
Any questions?
I mentioned to you, I think, when I saw you a few days ago, that they did lock in the natural gas rate. So I underestimated when I say double.
Yes.
So we still got some additional expenses where everybody in town's gonna see it, but for our budget, it's gonna be more like 2.75 or something like that.
Okay, and I went back and looked, and I actually did around 2.5, so we'll be even
That'll give us close.
less of a spread than we thought.
Other questions? Okay, let's move on to our consent agenda items. First item is minutes of the prior meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the previous meeting. Is there any additional discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Discussion or action items, consideration and possible action on 22-23 district improvement plan. That was a lot of reading.
And a lot of good points. That's a little bit.
Do any of our buses have Wi-Fi? Any of them?
No, I don't believe so, right, Darren?
Any buses have Wi-Fi?
I don't believe so. We did work with Rodney on creating the section on the technology, and that was going to be part of the research to add that Wi-Fi to the buses.
Let's see what it costs.
Starting with the activity buses.
The thing is, it's just money, right?
Yeah, I mean, most of our trips, guys, we go 3-4 hours. That's a lot of homework you can get done.
We have textbooks.
If
They
you have
textbooks.
access. Yeah.
If you don't have internet, you can't.
Hotspot.
Hot, yeah, right.
Hotspots.
Oh,
Yeah. He knows it.
Okay.
Hotspots. I did have one question as I was going through this on page 160. Actually, 160 to 161. Goal 1, Objective 2, it talked about enhancing educational opportunities for all students pre-K through 12 by expanding and improving offered programs. Number 7 says provide service to eligible children attending private schools to assure timely and meaningful consultation with private school officials.
I wonder what that was.
Are we working with any private schools at the present time, or how does that work?
Our SSA works with the private schools for any students that are receiving any speech services or any services through them for with eligibility.
And is there any compensation that works back and forth within that consultation, or is it just, it's provided by the state funded, or is that locally funded?
I am not for sure. Not for sure.
That was the only question that I had.
I had some things I wanted to hit on and not worked on. Does anybody else have questions, comments?
before I get into the highlighting? No?
Go for it.
On 68, when I talked about PISD will improve school culture and climate for students and teachers, administration will work with all staff to assess teacher morale intermittently through the year, creating and implementing a teacher workplace satisfaction survey in order to value the experience of teachers. We don't already do that.
A survey?
A survey.
We used to, I remember that, but I don't think we have lately.
And that could be something that's totally anonymous.
Yes,
Never get
yeah.
data. That would not be a hard, expensive thing to do. I think that several times throughout the year, especially new teachers, just get a feel on things and then hey, you have an anonymous place to tell us things that are going on with students. Maybe you don't want to tell us. Would be a nice.
Darren, what was that deal that we used? Is that like Survey Monkey or something that we
Yes.
sent out there? And
That's what, like,
and that way
everybody
it's all anonymous. We did that.
Yes, we've done it on several occasions, but the only time we've surveyed the staff recently was with regard to harming the staff. It's the only survey we've conducted in the last
And that's something that would
2
be
years,
clear.
probably.
So I think that's we've been talking about this in teacher retention and then figuring out how they feel. It's probably a good idea.
Can I add something on that before you move on? I know that Wright Elementary did that at least twice last year, and I know that the junior high does that as well.
Good.
With their targeted improvement plan.
Good. Okay.
So it's at the campus level, not.
It is at the campus, but we want to expand it to the district level.
Okay. And then do we get those answers or is that going to the principals?
We receive them, but then we would be sharing them with the administrators.
Okay. So it would never.
Well, it gets the
Oh, we
board,
can
is what
share-
she's asking.
Yeah, share with you,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, we would be able to share with you as
Okay,
well.
maybe that would be, kind of aggregate the themes on that.
Sure.
Anything that stands out would be good since we're working on that. Talked about substitute recruitment and high-quality orientation training. That's programming that's changing.
Yes, so that, we have received some slides from another district that we're tweaking so that we can provide that orientation for our substitutes. And today at our principals meeting, we went ahead and set a date for October the 11th to invite all the substitutes. That's a professional development day, so we're not pulling the substitutes on a day that they would typically be substituting.
Smart. Great. And then the teacher incentive allotment plan, are y'all familiar with that? Way to be more competitive with other districts without it impacting our budget as much, but there are issues with it. That's something we should read on. And something we all know about, teacher pay was an issue in here, and something we are aware of. On 182, anybody have any thoughts on? So it shows, towards the bottom of the page, 182, the average actual salaries, the average teacher salary by years of experience with regular duties, no stipends in there. And that is an ongoing thing, but budgets and teachers. But there was something I looked up in relation to that was the census data for Perryton. And then census, because it's a government website, doesn't have all that much information. But they did say the per capita income average is $21,000. $21,692, and then median household income, so that's families, everybody, put everybody together, it's $50,000 is your median income in Perryton. So I know these numbers for our teachers don't look fabulous in the state, and I want to improve them, but as far as Perryton's average income is concerned, our teachers are actually some of the high earners in town, which I don't feel that, it's just a fact, it was information. So World Population Review showed actually with a bachelor's degree on average in Perryton, someone is making $44,000 with a bachelor's degree. And a female is $42,000 and a male $47,000. So just some scope.
So I would say the teachers are a big part of that then.
The teachers, yeah, I would say the teachers are probably driving a lot of that number. Just because of the sheer number we have of them, but I think salary is something we need to be aware of and keep working on, and Brittany's probably going to be wonderful at teaching us how to make the whole thing work for y'all, but we know it's an issue. But as far as the town goes, teachers or? I think that's it. And just parent involvement on that, family, community involvement on 192, parents want to be more involved, so they need more opportunities to. Volunteer programs for parent involvement, beginning, middle, and end-year parent-teacher conference. Do they do parent-teacher conferences? How often?
They do, but no one shows up.
You did the first one, do you do it once, twice, 3 times? I don't know.
We do it in the beginning of the year, and then we just get our first meeting of the first 6 weeks conferences.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, we meet the teacher in this one, and then we do it as needed later.
Good, okay. I just didn't know, I have littles that are not, they're too little for school, so I don't know the progress. Something else they highlighted on was more Hispanic involvement and finding ways for everyone to participate comfortably. Do we have a parent night in Spanish?
We do not have parent nights in Spanish.
We do supply translators during the conferences. They can ask when we all have at least 2 on staff.
Yeah, but is someone translating while y'all are talking to the parents?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Yes,
you're talking,
yes.
someone's talking.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic, that's what.
Yes.
Got it. All done.
Any other comments, questions on the district improvement plan?
I want to thank Teresa Snell. She did a lot of work on writing this. And if you look behind you guys, we met with these people, and those are the strengths of our district and the needs of our district, dealing with school culture, climate, demographics, quality retention, technology. I mean, they went through quite a bit of stuff, and it was a very good meeting. And then over here were the priorities they came up with after that meeting. And so she did a lot of work in putting this on paper for us, and Dr. Rock did a lot of work also. How many people were on the committee?
How many showed up that day?
Well, we invited administrators to participate as well. I think I invited 11 plus administrators. But every campus has a DEIC committee.
I remember, yeah,
And they're
representative.
all represented.
Anyway, it's a lot of work, as you can see.
Looks like it was a long meeting. The set of meetings?
Well, this meeting was about an hour and 15. Writing the plan was all day.
Translating it into.
But if they brought it up, it's in the plan.
Thanks. And Teresa's the president of the DEIC.
Yeah, she's the
So we invited her today.
Other comments, questions? Looking for a motion to approve the district improvement plan.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the district improvement plan as presented. Any additional discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Next item, discussion of possible action concerning staff firearms policies, final drafts. 4 different policies in our district policy, CKC regulation, CKC local, DH local, and GKA local, which we've all had a chance to be reading over the summer as it's been updated. What would be the board's consideration? The chair would be looking for a motion to approve those 4 policies. Moved and seconded to approve the policies as presented. Any additional discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Next item, consideration and possible action on hiring personnel.
Yeah, I would recommend that we hire the below personnel on a 1-year part-time employment contract, Debbie Simpson, for a half-time sped teacher at the high school. We're still short a couple of sped teachers.
Do I hear a second? So moved and seconded to hire Debbie Simpson as a half-time sped teacher for the high school on a 1-year part-time employment contract. Any additional discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Next item, consideration and possible action on transfer student application, which you all should have in your material.
Is there 2 of them now?
There are 2 now, guys.
Oh, these are different names. I didn't look that closely.
Yeah.
There are two, which we can either handle with a motion for both or individuals.
I say no, that's fine.
Is that a motion?
A motion to do both.
Second. Been moved and seconded to approve both student transfers as presented. Any additional discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Calendar time for an October board meeting. The fourth Tuesday would be the 25th.
I have a meeting I arranged the speaker for, so I don't think we get something like that, but I'll be here when it's done.
Early meeting, late meeting,
Same time.
same time.
You'd be here at 7.
DAR, I don't, whenever he's done talking. Y'all should have it. Come to DAR.
25th, with one known late arrival. We'll talk slow in the beginning. You're probably right.
Y'all just tell me what they're.
Okay, 10:25, 6 PM. I bet you we may too. Take that one as it comes.
We're not having an athletic report.
Yeah, we did not have that.
He was out there, we missed him. Coach Abbott was
I
out
didn't
there.
find anything in there.
Yeah, I didn't see anything.
Is Coach Abb still here?
Alan, is Coach Abb still here?
Okay.
Didn't have one.
Go chase him.
Jason, good luck.
Follow the list instead of checking it off in my
He
head.
didn't check it off, he didn't put a report in there.
Yeah, I didn't see one.
That's why we missed him.
He's gonna talk about the new global hot spy aircraft work.
Jeopardy something, yeah.
It's gonna be.
Or Jeopardy.
Coming back around the corner.
Okay.
We got it.
You got it all scot-free, and they put him on the spot.
Sorry. I don't have anything else I can just talk about.
Yeah.
I'll see what I do. And how's your new job? I'm like, it's just all. What? You give it? No, we don't.
This one is
Could drive board members and invite everybody.
Yeah, I just can't let the time slip.
Dang, y'all were doing calendar, that's always the last thing.
I apologize, I was clicking off in my head and I missed you.
Well, I
So-
didn't have a report.
Yeah, that's why I
Y'all
told
did
him.
that.
All right.
You missed me.
So what do we have going on? Anything?
What do we have going on? Ball games every week. Cross country runs October the 4th at Spearman, and then they'll have district on the 17th, 12th, I think, at Canyon. Volleyball is at West Plains tonight, and here Saturday. So, every Tuesday and Saturday.
Questions?
Sorry for bringing you back.
No, no problem at all.
Thank
Went around the corner, I said, hey, they're asking for you. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
We have a local business trying to recognize athletes of the week,
Mhm.
and they have not been in contact with the correct person maybe for a girls athlete. Could you make sure?
Yeah, they just started that this week.
They got a girl this
Mhm.
week?
Yeah, they just let us know that this week.
Perfect, because on Friday, they didn't want to talk to me,
So,
But
Coach
on
Hap-
Friday, when I talked to
Oh, okay.
them, they said they hadn't had a female yet, so they didn't get in touch with the right. Perfect.
So we have football, volleyball.
Volleyball, cross country.
We have cross country?
Mhm.
Okay, I just want to make sure. That's what we have going on right now.
Okay.
When's the basketball season start?
October.
End of October. Yeah.
It'll be November before the games start. They start our spring practice in mid-October with girls, and 1 week after that for the boys.
Already in the morning, so go for 6 o'clock.
All right.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Declare this meeting adjourned.